What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Phaithful Phanatics show. It's been a few days since our last recording, but we are back here on a very, very happy Wednesday. The Phillies pull out a 6-5 victory to take the series victory over the Washington Nationals. They improved to 3-3 on the young year. They've lost a series. They've now won a series. We're going to talk about the good. We're going to talk about the bad. And we are going to talk about the ugly through the first 6 games of the Phillies' short season so far. Joel Embiid and the Sixers. Is the season back on? Is it off? Joel's out. He's playing an April Fool's joke. He's back out with an illness. He's tweeting they won't let him play basketball. But nonetheless, in the few days that we have not been live, Scotty, they have returned to full health prior to this game tonight against the Washington Wizards. In their first game back, Joel and Paul George get the Sixers scoring 157 freaking points. They've won 2 of 3, I believe. Beating the Hornets and then losing to the Miami Heat the other night and blowing a fourth quarter few point lead. So we'll talk about that over the course of the next hour or so. We have a Jalen Hurts hit piece basically coming out. Anonymous sources, players, coaches, whatever within the locker room. He's tough to coach, they say. He likes things done a certain way, like certain plays, certain routes, they say. We're going to talk about whatever you guys want to get into. Terry, happy hump day. My man, Scotty, what is going on?
What is going on, brother? Happy to be here with you. Happy that we got the Phillies W earlier. Comeback W nonetheless. Bring some positive vibes into this show, bro. You hit the nail on the head with all the topics, bro. We got a lot of toxic stuff to get into once again. The Jalen Hurts hit. I said it to you before we got on air. It is just right on time. It is right on time. We can't have an Eagles off season without a Jalen Hurts hit piece, bro. Before we even get to the NFL draft, so I'm excited to get into it with you as always, brother. Happy to be back at it, and man, where do you want to start? I guess is where I would throw it back to you.
Yeah, I mean, let's start with the Fightins. I know if there were a few people in here right now, there's not that many people. Hopefully, they continue to climb into the stream throughout the show. But I know there's a bunch of people that are going to be down on this team, and obviously, rightfully so. It has been an ugly start, and up until the bottom of the 9th inning, just a few hours ago, we were ready to come on here, have a 2-4 start to the season, lose back-to-back series at home against, let's call it what it is, subpar competition in the Texas Rangers and now the Washington Nationals in the NL East. And they turned that around. Justin Crawford was phenomenal today. Christopher Sanchez did not have his best stuff. His command, his control was off from the get-go, but he still punched out, 7 or 8 batters today. Andrew Painter made his major league debut last night in a win. He gets his first win as a Philly, struck out 8. So there has been positives. I think Adolis Garcia, Brandon Marsh, the outfield, the outfield's actually off to a good start this year, which I think is something that we continue to move forward. But of course, over the course of the next 20, 30 minutes, we're going to talk about the big boppers, the big money guys, Bryce Harper's ugly start to the year, Trey Turner's hideous start to the year, Kyle Schwarber's homer now twice in the first 6 games of the season, but not a great start for Schwarbs. Bones hitting 095, Stotts hitting 200. It's very early, obviously. Those averages are going to fluctuate back and forth for quite some time. But nonetheless, the top of the order guys have started the season out very sluggish. So I guess we can start there if you want to. I know we're going to talk about the pitching staff as well.
Absolutely.
But very, very, very frustrated, I think is the word I want to go with when it comes to these guys. It's just another start to a year where runners in scoring position are an issue. It's ugly. It's ugly at bats. It's ugly approaches. Trey Turner came up today twice with runners in scoring position. I believe once second and third with 2 outs, once bases loaded with 2 outs. He's now 0 for 6 on the season with runners in scoring position. Obviously didn't come through in either one of those appearances. Swung at the first pitch, Scotty. And the second one, I'm sitting there watching, and I say out loud to myself, don't swing at the first pitch. And then John Kruk on the broadcast emphasizes it by saying, don't help him out. What does Trey do? Not only does he swing at the first pitch again, He swings at a ball up and in, gets in on his hands, and basically pops it up to shallow left field. I think the shortstop ends up getting out there. And it's just that very approach that frustrates you. Bryce coming up with runners in scoring position in the middle of this game, swings at a curveball that ends up hitting the dirt down by his ankles, but then takes a fastball to start the ninth inning or 10th inning at bat, or 8th inning, I can't remember, but takes a fastball right down the middle in that at bat. It's just the simple approach that I still can't comprehend from these guys. These future Hall of Famers, these all-stars, right? These $300 million guys. I would love if I was in a room with them to simply just ask, what goes through your mind? Like, I know how difficult it is. To me, it's the hardest thing in the world to do, to hit a baseball at the major league level. I can't comprehend what it looks like to stand in there and see 198 sinker tail off a bit. Something look like it's coming this way and then drop off at 87. I can't comprehend that, Scotty, but they do. You're great at your job. So as a viewer, I want to know how the hell you stare 97 right down the pipe one at bat. But then if you're Trey, you're coming up in here on the first pitch with second and third, two outs, excuse me. I just want to know what goes through your mind. What are you seeing?
No, and I think you mentioned the broadcast. You mentioned John Kruk, and the broadcast mentioned it when Brandon Marsh came up to bat at one point today as well, and he looked completely lost, to your point, with his approach at the plate, and just seems like guys are being a bit indecisive when they do start their approach at the plate. So I do agree with everything you said, man. I do wonder, right? They switched batting coaches in this offseason. Am I getting that confused with last offseason?
Is Kevin Long no longer here? You might be correct.
Is that a big deal? That's all I was going to ask you about that, if that is true. Let me fact check myself there, but
I should know. Like, once you said that, for some reason it didn't click. That's how. I don't want to say out of touch I was during this Phillies offseason, but once Orion Kerkering threw the ball to home plate at Dodger Stadium, I kind of gave up hope for a little bit.
That's the other thing that I'll throw in just while I'm looking this up. Excuse me, he's still with him.
Kevin Long's still here. Yeah.
With the rumor, but nonetheless, aside from that, because that point is invalid now. You talk about the offseason and your feeling coming out of it, right? And we try to be positive. We try to, put the right foot forward with the Phillies to start this season. And we want to build that confidence early that they can go out and do what they need to do. And they can, man. Like we know why they make the big bucks. That's why we have these expectations. But man, you just can't come out and just be on. Yeah. Like we saw the Bryce performance for the USA team, right? In the World Baseball Classic. Mm-hmm. And you thought maybe that can carry over. I know they lost, but maybe that momentum just for Bryce in a big moment can carry over into the season. And yes, finally today in a big moment, or
it's it. Yeah.
It's an eighth inning.
It's started 5-3.
It started to come back. But just to get his first homer of the year, get him off the shrine, right? So I think that's a good step. But man, you have the comments, from Dave Dombrowski that Bryce talked about all off season. You think that, motivates you. And it's not to say it's been 1 weekend. We've been through 1 weekend of baseball. Yeah. I'm not jumping to hasty conclusions.
We're 6 days into the season.
Expected more from the bats to start the season.
Correct.
And out of that end of season situation last year, to your point.
I think that's why I wanted to start with the word frustrated, because they had an opportunity to put the end of last season behind them. Obviously, a large majority of this fan base, half of this fan base, however you want to slice it, was either disappointed or even underwhelmed in the offseason and the additions or lack thereof for this roster. And here we go, we're running it back, right? Alec Boehm is my third baseman. Alec Boehm's hitting cleanup. Is my right fielder an upgrade from Nick? There was all these question marks, and I think a couple weeks ago, you and I looked at the schedule and we said, all right, you open up with 6 at home, you get the Rangers. You get the Nationals, who are predicted to finish 4th or 5th in this division. and now you get a day off and you go to the Rockies. No, right. They've won 2 in a row. They won this series. That's the most important thing. And this can continue to carry over. I can only look at the 6 games at hand right now, though, and that's where they couldn't have started.
Whole product.
Yeah, they couldn't have started any uglier in my
It's not horrible, but it's just very
flat,
very flat.
Disappointing, frustrating. Yep, it's all those things.
Not reinstilling faith or confidence for that other side of the fan base that really was feeling flat coming into the season.
It's the feeling of what has happened in the past. That's where, like, you had a chance to start the season off on a high note. I mean, like, you did. You came out the very first inning of opening day. Trey gets on base. Kyle hits a home run. Yeah. Oh, boy, here we go again. And then for the next 4 days, they didn't do anything.
Yeah.
We had a position player on the mound in the, 4th game of the season? That's how frustrating the first 6 have been. Now, with that said, there has been good.
Yeah.
Justin Crawford, 3 for 5 today. The game-winning hit. He's already made plays out in the field early on. Had 2 hits on opening day. Kid's hitting .412 early on in his career. Hit a double that, I mean, maybe it carried because it was a beautiful day out. I don't know what the wind was like at CBP, but hit one opposite field that basically carried and fell at the base of the wall out there and left. Was 2 feet from getting out that way. I'm in. I mean, I'm in. As down as you want to be on some of the other guys, which is fair for how the start is, I can be just as excited for some of these young additions and some of the new pieces.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get to the pitching staff.
Yeah,
you throw Payne in there.
I like everything about this kid so far. He had an infield single today using his legs and his speed. I mentioned the double off the wall, and then obviously he hits the game winner. First and third, what was it? No outs or 1 out at that point, and gets one in through the hole. He's just very early on. He just feels like a different style of batter than what the rest of the lineup provides. And I think that's very interesting when you're looking at the 9 hole, and you would assume that a defending batting title champ in Trey gets it going. You would assume an MVP runner-up in Kyle. You would assume Bryce. So you would assume those 3 are going to get it going. They're going to pull their heads out of their asses at some point. That 9-hole hitter, to be a different, he uses every part of the field.
Yeah.
He shortens up. Man. He doesn't chase a ton. The speed is obviously electric. I like his approach a lot. It just feels holistically different than what Kevin Long has instilled in the others. And I think that's interesting to kind of see that dynamic and maybe it can translate. Maybe the kid can set the tone at some point this season for the guys at the top of the lineup.
Yeah, no, and I think today, to your point, like that's a great start to get that walk-off knock, right, to get that game-winning run in at the end of this game. That's going to be a big moment in his, rookie campaign to build that confidence, to your point. And yeah, that's exactly what I see from him as well, man. He feels like a different style of batter, which is something that we've been needing, man. We've needed somebody to kind of connect or link up this lineup, right? And I think he could be something like that this season, right? Long term, yes, I think even more, right? But we're thinking in the now. We're thinking with the expectations for this year. What can he contribute now? And I think it's a plus that you can get excited about that as well, man, because he does. He looks like he's going to contribute early. And once again, you just go back to the Rojas's of the world, the Christian. Oh my God, Pache, yeah, it slipped out of my mind immediately. But you remember those guys we used to have in the 9-hole, and
boy, do I.
I do, yeah, for the wrong reasons. But I think this is an upgrade, and obviously it bodes for the future as well, man. Another nod I'll throw in there before we do move to the pitching staff. JT had a day today as well.
Yeah, I think he reached 3 times.
Yeah, maybe he can get something going. you just gotta hope. You gotta hope that it comes soon. It's gonna happen. You want it to come soon. I think they go to Colorado
Yes.
and then San Fran, I think it is.
Is that what it is? Let me check.
I might be getting confused. I thought it was
No,
the
no, no.
Giants.
You might be spot on. Yes, you are correct. 3 in Colorado, 3 in San Francisco, and then home for the Diamondbacks and the Cubs and the Braves. So 3 consecutive series at home versus 3 supposed to be really good NL competition. The Giants as well, really good NL competition out in the West. So this is what but this is the point, right? This is where the 3-3 to start is not ideal, right? Losing that series to the Rangers is not ideal at home because it's 162 games. We know there's going to be spurts where they play nobody. We know the schedule is going to stiffen at some points. It's about to stiffen. You're looking at San Fran, Arizona, Chicago, Atlanta, at Chicago for 4, at Atlanta for 3, San Fran back here for 3. First of all, who the fuck set the schedule up like this?
It sounds.
They play 3. They play 3 of the same teams.
Yeah, you're right.
What, 5 or 6 series? 5 series? Who the fuck wrote that?
3 against the Braves, 3 against the Cubs, 3 against the Braves, 3 against the Giants. With the obviously, as you mentioned,
4 against the Cubs at Wrigley.
Oh, 4. My bad. Yeah. So how many 7 games against the Cubs this month?
Yeah. They play the Cubs 7 times in like 11 days.
Play the Braves 6 times?
Yeah. And the Giants 6 times. Now, the Giants are a little more spread out beginning of the month, end of the month. But yeah, I didn't realize that until we literally just peeked at it right now. But that's where, you had an opportunity to maybe, I get I'm only sounding, I'm being an old man, right? Oh, you could have been 4-2, not 3. It's a game off. I understand it. Let's continue this into Colorado. You realistically could have been like 5-1 to start the year when you're looking at the record, when you're looking at who they played and the games that they let slip and the game they let slip away in extras against the Rangers being one of them. So, yeah.
Have to hold them accountable, right? Have to hold them accountable for the expectations that we set for them, which is contending for a championship, but doesn't mean that they're not contending for a championship by starting 3-3 either. So just to add on to your point there, my man, it'll be interesting to see how they go. The thing about the bats, though, the thing about the lineup, or the thing about the top of the order, it doesn't matter really who you're playing. When they get hot, they get hot. They're going to hit against anybody. So it's not
because we know, right?
It's going to,
we know they can make
it's not like
Max Fried or Chris Sale look like a rookie, but make a rookie that has a 6.4 ERA look like Cy freaking Young. We know that's going to transpire over the course of the season as well. But no, you're right. This lineup, that's frustrating, right? Because when they're going, it doesn't matter who's on the mound. It doesn't matter who's in the opposing dugout. They're one of the best in the major leagues.
Yeah.
When they're bad, they are so incredibly frustrating to watch because it's not, Scotty, that they're just missing, or maybe there's a game where they're K'ing a lot. It's the overall vision, plate discipline, plate approach that just doesn't fucking make sense. The untimely double plays that bite them in the ass. The bad base running comes at the same time. The errors on it all seems to hit them at once. They weathered an early, ugly storm. They've won 2 in a row. They won this series, which at the end of the day is all you're trying to do each and every time out. 3-3, heading to play a bad Rockies team.
Let me ask you this. What would your tone be if they didn't come back in this game today?
Very
2-4, right?
Very much more south than this. And when I say that, I mean if I'm using the word frustrating right now at 3-3 with a come from behind, walk off in extra innings, the word I would be using is disgusted. Moves need like it. If they wouldn't have come back, which they probably shouldn't have, let's be honest.
Yeah, they should.
You'd be 2-4 to start the year. Obviously, at that point in time, you probably would have finished with, 2 or 3 runs against the Nationals, not 6. Yeah. So the bats would have technically been cold again. Yeah, this saved them. I mean, Justin Crawford, JT Realmuto, Adolis Garcia, it saved Edmundo Sosa. We didn't even fucking talk about him today.
Good
Crawford
call.
Hit game winner, but Sosa to tie it with 2 strikes in the bottom of the 9th and 2 outs with bases loaded. And then in the top of the 10th, he's in at second base for Stott and makes a leaping snag with already 1 out and then doubles the kid off at second. They mentioned it on the WIP broadcast where, like, it's weird with the ghost runner at second now to start the inning, but when do you ever see an inning end with only 2 batters come to the plate? And that's what happened because Sosa made such a great play and throw back to second. So he was fantastic. But yeah, if not for the unsuspecting characters on this team stepping up in a major way, you mentioned it, Bryce homered in the first inning, Kyle almost tripled and scored Trey. Yeah. They did some things today, but if not for the unsuspecting guys at the back end of this order, it would be a disgusting fucking start to this year. And that the big guys better wake up on this West Coast trip over the next 6, man.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great point because it looks a lot different if, Sanchez, if you don't get the win with Sanchez starting today. I know he didn't technically get the win, right? I'm trying to remember. Was it
no, because they were losing.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I thought so. I thought, it was 5-1 at some point.
I ain't gaslighting you, bro. I'm not happy. I am not happy today.
No, it is not a positive. It's not positive. It's almost like saving grace. Like they saved their ass today from
a lashing.
From getting called ass to start rather than just flat. We called them flat today, right? Like they came out flat. That 2 and 4 is ass, right? And because they only scored 3 runs against the Nationals last night. So it's you end the night like that. Oh, we're not talking about Duke. UConn head coach is allowed to headbutt the referee. He's allowed to headbutt the referee.
They're friends, dude. You didn't know? Yeah.
When they put that out as if that makes you feel better.
I got you, bro. Martian, bad. No. Stay away. But let's get to more of the good, man, because we started with Justin Crawford. And let's get to the phenom in Andrew Painter. He was fucking awesome against the Nationals. It's his debut, I know that. But he was awesome, man. His fastball opened up and sat around 98 for the first couple innings of this game. That curveball was wicked. He K'd 8 in 5 1/3. Gets on the hook for the 1 earned run that he left at first. What do you do? Walk the guy? It's either a walk or an infield single. Then Rob goes to get him, and then Tanner Banks takes a 110-mile-an-hour line drive off the ankle. Ball kicks in the outfield. A run scores. So he's on the hook for that. That's his only run given up in his debut. But 5 1/3, 4 hits, 1 walk, 1 earned, 8 strikeouts. Andrew Painter to start was as advertised, and that was beautiful to see.
Yeah, no, I think that is something to be very excited about to start the season like that. And you mentioned it, 8 Ks man, across 5 1/3 innings. It was impressive. It's exciting, and like you said, just another bright spot. But this one's a really, really bright spot because you do. We'll see how the second start goes because you don't want to get too ahead of yourself. But, man, you start to think about the full pitching rotation and you get really excited about it. Outside of, like, Taijuan Walker, right? But that's the hope. That's the idea is that Wheels comes back, you remove Taijuan Walker from this situation, and now the situation is incredibly golden. And it's looking like one start. It's looking like Andrew Painter could be more of a sure thing than maybe we thought, right? 5.1 AKs, like 1 run, like that's a really, really good start. We'll see how the second start goes. We'll see how Rob manages him, but I just loved what I saw. I to that point, I loved what Rob did as well kind of pulling him out while he's at the top of his game.
Yeah, the pitch count was getting a little up there. You don't. Yeah, there's no reason. I agree. There's no reason to fracture what was a great fucking debut. Because I believe there was no outs. I think he went out, or no, there was one out because obviously 5 1/3. Duh. Got the first out, and then either walked or infield single. And if it was an infield single, I think it was their second or third out of their 4 hits. I think they had 2 infield singles against them. So it's like, all right, let's not, ruin any of this.
Ruin any of his confidence.
And I like that as well, man.
Yeah.
Painter had a better start than Paul Skeens. Paul Skeens didn't make it out of the first inning.
Yo.
Dude. That was awesome.
That was
the Mets did it, so it was a little less awesome, but
my man Martian wants to talk about WWE.
Fuck yeah, crazy. Bro. No, I don't. If I'm being honest with you, I tune into I'll watch WrestleMania with my friends. We didn't watch the Royal Rumble this year. Normally, we watch the Royal Rumble and make it a drinking game while we're watching, so it's pretty fun. But I haven't watched Martian. All I know for you, bro, I know we got Punk and Roman. Brock's fighting Femi. I don't know. I don't know who he is. New guy, Scotty. The young blood it's taking over the WWE. Yeah, we're fading out, man. We're starting to fade out.
Yeah.
Obviously, we know Cena retired, and our childhood is starting to make less and less appearances. Oh, I will say Randy Orton's fighting for the belt at WrestleMania.
That's pretty cool.
I do know that. He won the Royal Rumble.
That's pretty cool.
That's childhood favorite. So, yeah, we got that. But what else, man? Before we move on here, obviously, we got some Sixers to talk to. If anyone wants to get into the Jalen article, I'm going to be honest. I didn't read it. I was getting my hair cut when it was on the Pat McAfee show, and they were talking about it. The barbershop was tearing them to pieces. They're not Jalen fans where I go. So it's pretty funny to fuck with them. Half of them aren't Eagles fans though, so I take them a little less seriously. But some of them are, and they still don't like them. So we can talk about that. But out of the rest of the pitching staff, man, Nolan. Not
same old, man.
Right. I mean, what did he give up?
It's just the homers, right? It's the homers. You're having a good. Yeah, it just felt typical. He gave up 5 hits.
3 earned, 5. He wasn't awful.
He wasn't horrible.
7, but 7 base runners with 3 earned in 5 innings in a 1-run loss in extra innings. Not average. What you're looking for.
Yeah, average or
not
just
terrible.
Below, maybe.
Yeah. Lizardo. Listen, if we're gonna throw rocks at Aaron, Lizardo was worse. Lizardo threw 1 more inning, gave up 3 more runs. So. And they ended up winning that game in extra innings against the Nationals. But Jesus, was this their? Or no, this is showing from today. Why is this? I'm sorry. Maybe they lost that game. I don't know what I was talking about. When I had his box score pulled up, the 6-5 final 10 is showing up. So I looked at that and went, no, they lost to the Rangers 8-3.
Yeah, he pitched on Sunday.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, and Nola was Saturday.
Yes. Yeah, the first 2 losses, and then Taiwan, and then Taiwan's on the mound to turn things around and fucking, yeah. So, hey, Rob says he's tough though. He's the ultimate competitor. Shows up for work every day. I'm a Rob guy. That's not the hill I need you dying on, Robert. Not the fucking hill. I need you dying on. You mentioned it though. Zach threw a couple innings in Lehigh Valley, I believe, a couple days ago. Once Zach gets back at the top of this rotation, things are going to become a lot of fun, man. Because we're still going to have the Nola days, and people are going to groan, and there's going to be ugliness, right?
Yeah.
But you're talking about watching Phillies baseball every 5 nights, and you remove Taiwan from this rotation. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know why you would
stretch the
Painter. Yeah, I don't think they will. But let's assume Taiwan's the odd man out of the 5, which he better be, right? Now you're talking about every night, 5 straight, over and over again. Not a dull. This guy's throwing. None of that. The Nola times, we're gonna be up and down. Other than that, Wheeler, Sanchez, Luzardo, Painter, Nolan. recycle, repeat. Now we're going to have a lot of fun. And so Zach Wheeler coming back, hopefully in the, coming weeks, month and a half. I don't know what the timeline is. I don't think
don't want to rush him.
Right. I don't think Rob entirely knows yet, but it's coming. And that'll be when we can kind of kick this thing in the full gear. But nonetheless, frustrating. 3-3, have 1-2 straight, get a day off, going to play a terrible Rockies team.
Yeah. What do you need out of that series? What do you need out of that series?
It's very different. Like I've never been the type of fan, and I've never been the type of, we come on here and try to do this. I've never been the type of guy that says sweep. You need to sweep.
Right.
It's not that simple. But obviously, like the bare minimum playing teams like this, the Nationals, the Rockies, is to win the series. That's about, you play them 3 times, you win 2. You play them 4 times, you win 3. And then the sweep's on the board, right? So, but the first state of business is you better go fucking win Friday. That's the first, because now I want it. I would like when you play these bad teams, I would like for Sunday afternoon to be a position for a sweep. I don't need Sunday afternoon for it to be 1-1.
You need this to win the series.
Coming away with the series win.
Yeah.
When you play teams of that competition, it needs to be on the finale. You have an opportunity to take all 3. And that's where I want this team to be. Friday, I do believe, let me just check for you. I do believe it's Nola, Luzardo.
And Walker would be Sunday, to your point.
Yeah, I think so, dude. Hold on.
They're not going to shift
that ballpark, dude. Oh, here it is. My bad. I don't know why I clicked on it. Nola, Luzardo, Walker. Yeah. Awesome.
So, need Nola, Luzardo. Get us right for Sunday, and then who knows?
The three guys that have pitched on our 3 losses, none of them were good. You're playing the Rockies. I don't know what to tell you. Figure it the fuck out. All right?
Yeah, I feel you, brother. I feel you. Martian says the Jalen article is a crock. Yeah, man. I don't have too much to say about that either, man. I guess it just feels like for us, we're not Jalen haters on this show. So like, this doesn't validate anything for me. It just doesn't do anything for me. And it feels like I would have to be redundant with what we always say on this show right now to combat this article. And it's just, I'm so beyond it, man. I'm so beyond the Jalen, like the personality slander and like all this like bullshit. Like I'm so beyond it when I watch him, play alongside Tom Brady in flag football. And Tom Brady's just having a ball, the one of the most competitive athletes of all time, right? One of the GOATs. And just take those anonymous sources and run with it. It's just
that's
really
the
weird.
only part I want to know.
Really weird.
It's the only part I want to know. With all the drama that has been stirred up over the last year or 2, right? Because there were the passing game issues and drama. Even the year we were going on to win the Super Bowl in 24. I want to know. I would love to know. Excuse me, if this is just scraping the bottom of the barrel with hearsay and reporters just coming up with shit, or when they talk about and play one of the pieces of the article I did see on Twitter was he can be difficult to work with and uncoachable at times, and he's kind of just there sometimes, and the players notice. I want to know where this is coming from. We're never going to know, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm just saying the only part I find interesting about any of this is who the fuck is the cowardice motherfucker that can't just come out and say it.
Who?
I know exactly where your mind just went, and I'm trying to.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it's easy to point to AJ.
Of course.
It really is.
No, of course, no. What it needs to be, it needs to be Jahan Dotson.
Yeah, something like that.
Or like
It's
Quez
not his
Watkins,
offensive
like a
line,
former
right?
guy in the locker room that, someone like that, disgruntled, didn't get the ball, moved on,
Yeah.
had some things to say, whatever.
It's
I
not
don't know.
Smitty. It's not his
No,
offensive line. It's
no,
not Saquon.
no.
It wouldn't be Goddard, right? Goddard,
Why would you
Goddard had how many touchdowns last year?
why would you sign back here?
Yeah, why would you sign back? Why
That
would you
man
like
is
wait
the
and sign back?
primary, right.
He didn't
That
even want
man
to
is
test the
is your
market.
primary food source. That man is
Yeah,
your primary reason of
yeah,
getting the football in your hands.
yeah.
It ain't him.
And not to be like, I'm not trying to be like a piece of shit and like say like, no, you shouldn't listen to your coaches or whatnot. But are we talking about like him with like Kevin Patullo?
Yeah. So
Like I
basically,
would be disconnected too because that shit sucks. Like
I think the gist of the rumor is this of the article is not only like the fact how are we even getting to his work ethic? If there's one thing I know not to be questioned, it's that man's fucking work ethic, you idiots.
Yeah. If
The
anything,
winning.
try hard.
Been there, done that. All he does is win. Anyway, the gist of it, I think, is he basically his work ethic. He's uncoachable. He shows up to practice or to work some days, and he's just going through the motions. He's just there, and then he likes certain routes, likes certain throws, dislikes others, and basically was alluding to the fact that it wasn't the OC's fault. He was checking in the shit plays. Smells like Kevin Patullo leaking that.
That's a very good point.
They're like
save his face. Yeah.
There's two things. Shane Half pointed this out on Twitter, and good on him, right? Not only do we all know the track record of play callers that Jalen has had since he's been in fucking high school.
Yeah.
A new one every single year. You have basically two sides of two. You have two guys that have come here and found success, and Jalen found success, and those guys went on to become head coaches. That's the good. On the other side of things, you have the ugly. And those two guys, Scotty, were moved on from the next year as well, except one major problem. They can't even find another coaching job basically anywhere. Where's Brian Johnson? Didn't the Commanders hire him last offseason?
He was with the Commanders.
I mean, Kevin Patullo's still, I think, on the Eagles staff.
No, I heard
because I think
the Dolphins picked him up as a.
I thought that was a rumor. I don't know. I truly don't know, man. But my point is, the two guys, when things were ugly, aren't getting interviewed for anything after that.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, that's a byproduct of it looking a certain way. So a lot of, and you could point fingers as to why. But like, if I have evidence that in 6 years or 5 years in the NFL, however long Jalen's been starting since 2021 now, if I have evidence that the man can win a lot of football games and outperform Patrick Mahomes, and his offense puts up 80-plus points in 2 straight games in the NFC Championship and Super Bowl, and he's got a Super Bowl ring, and he's got a Super Bowl MVP. If I have that evidence, the bad is moot. That I'm not saying he doesn't deserve blame. I'm not saying he was good last year. I'm just saying that you take it to the extreme of he can't make these throws. He can't run this kind of – what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
He won a Super Bowl, an MVP. What are you talking about?
And I think, the last thing I'll say about it, man, is even if you're on the other side of that conversation and you think that it is true, right? Like there are people out there that believe that. I think we'll find out. Think we're going to find out this season.
It's a good point. I think it is a very big year for Jalen. It's a huge year, obviously, for Mannion and Grizzard. But I think that's the major point before we move on, right? Because people keep going back to, oh, well, he doesn't like these throws. He doesn't like these kind of routes. And he's they call him limited. I don't think he's limited, but he likes these and he likes to check into these. And it's like, what fucking quarterback doesn't have preferences?
Yeah.
You think Tom Brady didn't have You think Tom Brady didn't have things he liked and didn't like, and they didn't do the things he didn't like? You think Payne, you think any of the greats, you think any of the scrubs now, you think C.J. Stroud or Justin Herbert or any quarterback in the National fucking Football League has throws and reads they like and ones they don't want to install and run? The OC's job, which clearly Kellen Moore and Shane Steichen did an excellent job of, is meshing their thoughts and ideas and their game plan with what their quarterback can and likes to do. What the other two idiots, I believe, did was install what they think, and there's no combination. I think that's what it is. I think it's that simple. You're telling me after watching Jalen in 2022 basically be an MVP and then go on to the Super Bowl and throw for over 350 yards or whatever the fuck he did and score 5 touchdowns, whatever. Watch him win the Super Bowl MVP that 2 years ago. When you watch those games along that road and you see the throws he can make and the deep ball accuracy, but then you turn around and tell me he doesn't like that. Like he wants to run it. Like he's the reason they ran 9,000 hitch routes last year. Because that's what he likes to do. That's what you're telling me?
Yeah.
It's stupid.
It's dumb, man. Because on the other side, and is the way other quarterbacks are treated, right? Like Sam Darnold, he goes out and he wins the Super Bowl this year. Kenneth Walker wins the Super Bowl MVP. And somehow, like, Sam Darnold's getting this, universal respect as a quarterback. He's just known as this good quarterback that can lead a team. Now, why can't Jalen just be spoken about like that? Like, he doesn't have to be your favorite. He doesn't have to be the best because he's not. He's not the most talented. He's not the best quarterback in the NFL. But he just gets, like, drugged through, like, this mud. Like, he gets drugged through shit. And I just do not understand it at all. I really do not. And I'm not saying that to shit on Sam Darnold.
No.
Sam Darnold is a good quarterback. He's proven that over the last few seasons. So has Jalen Hurts, who's been to 2 Super Bowls, been to the playoffs every year, and won the Super Bowl and Super Bowl MVP, man. It's just, it gets tiring, but I laugh at that shit. Waking up to it this morning, man, it's just like right on time. Right on time. Because D Gunn, right? What was it last week or maybe over the weekend? D Gunn, Philadelphia reporter, local reporter, right? He reports that the Eagles, aren't necessarily actively shopping AJ. They're listening to offers like they do for everyone. AJ's happy in Philadelphia. Eagles are happy with AJ. Players love AJ across the organization. Coaches love AJ across the organization. But then Adam Schefter reports.
Well, yeah, it was Jeremy Fowler and Tim McManus. And the thing with Tim McManus is he's actually he's ESPN's Eagles beat. Like, he's Eagles guy. Yeah. So he is plugged in. Basically the report that was gaining the headlines was, our latest at ESPN, Jalen Hurts stands at a crossroads. Despite his immense success, sources say he has a hand in the Eagles offense becoming calcified, and frustrations have grown with at Tim McManus. That's from Jeremy Fowler. I don't know. I grow frustrated. Like, this doesn't mean anything to me. It just makes me more frustrated, but also makes me excited to see what he does. But I think the point we just have to accept, man, is there is no more fighting it. There is no more arguing it. If you want to be if you want to be blind, if you want to just be a hate, whatever it is that you are, or you think of yourself, or think of Jalen Hurts, there's no talking to those people, because just like you mentioned, right? Like, oh, what's it going to take? Like, oh, Sam Darnold just won a Super Bowl, so go win a Super Bowl. He's already done that, right? Like, we thought, right? What we thought when he was the MVP basically in 22, and then came back from injury and outplayed Mahomes in the Super Bowl, we thought that would shut people up. And then they had the collapse in 23, and it all went back to, he stinks, he's limited, he can't do this. Then they win 14 games, he wins the Super Bowl, he wins Super Bowl MVP. You would think that would shut everybody up. Then they have the drama last year. He's back to stinking, and the offense is his fault, and da-da. So there is no changing people's minds. Scotty, I believe in my heart of hearts that Jalen Hurts could go to 4 more Super Bowls and win 2 more, and he will be spoken about nationally and even locally like we talk about Eli Manning or someone of that. And that's not trying to be disrespectful to Eli. The 2 rings are the 2 rings, beat Brady. We all know that. But you know how Eli is talked about in Philly, right? He's talked about in that, maybe worse. He's probably talked about worse. Like, I truly think, Scotty, he could win 3 more Super Bowls, and people will argue with you that Cam Newton was a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts. or Lamar Jackson could go to no Super Bowls, Jalen wins 3 more, and they'll still tell you Lamar Jackson's a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
That's where I think we are. And I don't think anything's going to change that.
It's a confusing thing. I mean, Lamar Jackson, that's a great point. No, I do agree with you. I just think it's one. It begs this question, man. All the AJ rumors. I'm not gonna get into we're not gonna get into that again. But is that a way for Jalen to get out of that narrative? Like, would that help for him to have to have Smitty as wide receiver 1 and take a rookie wide receiver with Smitty and Goddard and take them to the playoffs?
Forget Hollywood Brown, bro.
Would the super team be gone? Do you know what I mean? But at the same time, there's guys that won't even, these same people, it's not guys, it's the same people, won't put AJ Brown in top 5 wide receivers. Aren't willing to give up a first round pick for AJ Brown.
Team, right? They're a super team until it gets to game by game, and they're not better than this team, and another team has a better receiving core, etc. But it just, again, man, it just makes me laugh because, and this is to take away nothing from the talent that Matthew Stafford is specifically.
Yeah.
But let's examine how we talk about Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
Because he was awesome in Detroit, right, when he was younger. Playing through injuries, him and Megatron, breaking records with Megatron, right? But never won shit. In fact, Detroit was awful after Calvin Johnson retired, right?
Yeah.
And he gets traded to LA. Who's he had since his time in Los Angeles? Since he's become one of the best quarterbacks in football, which he is. I'm just saying, Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. But you don't hear people take away from what Matthew Stafford does.
You don't ever hear a super
because who he has to throw the ball to. That's what I don't get. That's just one example, right? I mean, since Joe Burrow has entered the league, Joe Burrow has had Jamar Chase and T. Higgins at his disposal.
15 wide receivers.
Anyone take away from what Joe Burrow can do because of who he throws the ball to?
Right.
No. So it just doesn't make sense. Before we get out of here, man, I know we spent a little too much time on the Jalen thing. We got
it's
a
all
couple
good.
minutes till tip off. 5 more minutes or so.
Yeah.
Sixers back in action tonight. No Embiid from the last time I saw it. First, he was out. Then it was April Fool's. He quote tweeted Kai Carlin. Now he's out again. He tweets out separately. I guess they won't let me play basketball. He's out with an illness. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if this is the Sixers load managing him because they're playing the Wizards. And for some reason, for once, Joel is going against it and is yo, I'm okay. I don't know what's happening. But nonetheless, heavy favorites, even without the big fella tonight. They've won 4 of their last 6. They've won 2 of their last 3 since the boys have returned.
Yeah.
You and I think, I don't want to say prematurely, because who in their right fucking mind was ready to back this team again? No one's ready to back this team again, but let me tell you where I'm at. Okay. I know they lost to Miami. I know they blew a 4th quarter lead with all of them playing. I know Miami's chasing them, but let me tell you where I'm at. I'll say this till I'm blue in the fucking face. I don't care. If this team, because this was the goal, wasn't it? Was this not the goal? For them to be a 4 to 6 seed and be healthy when the postseason starts. And if they can be a 6 seed, hell, maybe a 5. How far are they from the 5? They're not far, I don't think.
Game and a half from the 5.
With 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, with 7 to play.
Yeah.
They can be out of the play-in, be a top 6 seed, with Embiid, Maxey, and Paul George healthy and ready to go. This team's going to compete with anybody. I don't know what they're going to win. I don't know if they're going to get out of the second round. Maybe they just win a series. Maybe they lose in the first round because they're a 6 seed and they have to play. Who's in the 3 right now?
They'd have to play the Knicks.
All right, perfect. I'm just saying they're going to compete with whoever they play. They're going to compete.
Yeah. I think the big thing for me to get where you're at is to, because don't get me wrong, I'm way more excited than I was a week ago about this team going into whether it's play-in, 6 seed, 5 seed, whatever it is. I'm way more excited now. I would like to see them play some of these games to end the season together, right? Like just to build some type of chemistry with that starting 5, because it's just been quite a while since we've seen them back together consistently.
You are not lying, my friend.
Not saying that, DC, I'm not saying the Wizards is this game that you have to force Joel out there to play. I'm not saying that by any means. But you got some games coming up that will there's no load management if you want to win those games. They
got Minnesota Friday night, brother, at the arena.
San Antonio, Houston, Indiana, and Milwaukee, right? You get 2. Those need to be shoe-in wins, right? Like those have to be Sixers dominate those games. Same thing tonight with the Wizards. You need to go out there and dominate. And yeah, man, I would like to see them. I would like to see them crawl up at least to the 6th seed, get out of the play-in tournament, playing extra games. The Sixers don't need to play extra games. That's they don't need any more risk added before the playoffs. Let's just get into the playoffs, whether it's 6 or 5 seed, man. And yeah, try to make some noise, man, especially in the East. The one team that the one team that, and rightfully so, they experience the pedigree, it's the Celtics, man. And they're that
I agree.
They're the team to beat, is what I would say.
I agree. Like you have them over Detroit, I'm assuming, in terms of like you'd rather play.
Well, Cade's out right now, so definitely. But even with Cade in the picture,
I forgot. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, if Cade is out, it's like it's one of those,
I mean, you know why I'm in a weird spot, man? Because over the last really if I'm being honest, probably since like the end of February, the Sixers and NBA season just completely went on the back burner for me because it just became this ugly disaster again.
So it looked a lot like last season.
Yeah, and with them looking and just slipping and falling and they're getting blown out, and with all that happening, I don't care about the rest of the land. So, the Phillies are starting up and March Madness is getting into gear. So I'm just focused on other things. And now that sounds very bandwagonish to say. I know that it does. I'm just was I supposed to tune in to Adem Bona and Justin Edwards playing the Thunder when they lose by 37? Like, was I supposed to care about that?
The Thunder's an outlier for sure. I did want to shout out VJ and Grimes specifically for holding down the fort while everybody was out. I mean, those guys.
It's funny, man.
Played out of his mind.
It's funny. I was looking at if I was going to bet anything on this game. So I was looking at the game total for the first half.
Yeah, it's juiced.
It is because the total's so high anyway. But I was like, the Wizards don't play any defense. Fucking Bam scored 83 on them. But maybe they could score. Oh, well, slight problem there. Anthony Davis out. Trae Young.
They're trying to lose games.
Oh, yeah. Out. Alex Sarr out. Keyshawn George out. D'Angelo Russell out. It's full tank mode for Washington. So then my question's all right, the Sixers might score 80 in the first half. But are the Wizards going to score 45?
Right.
I don't know. And it's just like, okay, and then at that point, we'll then just bet the Sixers team total. I mean,
it's 127, I think.
Yeah, the Sixers first half team total 65.5 is minus 120.
Yeah, I saw that.
I mean, what do you want me to do with that?
Like guaranteed 66 in the first half.
But to be fair,
they can do it easily. They've done. They can.
But then where my mind goes is with knowing who they're playing and who's not playing. Is the game scoring 123 if the Sixers aren't at 66? You know what I mean? In the first half?
Yeah.
Like, are the Wizards and Sixers combining for 123, 124 points if the Sixers themselves aren't scoring 66, 67? Like, unless somehow the Wizards have this game fucking 60-57 at halftime. Like, I don't know. So,
yeah. Wizards, who is playing? Let's see.
Fucking Bob Carrington.
They got the Trey Johnson, the rookie. He can score it. Yeah, Bob Carrington.
I mean, I got to tell you, my friend, you are not instilling a lot of confidence in me. But
Anthony Gill.
But I also there's in the back of my mind.
Great role players, sure.
In the back of my mind, these are the dudes that splash against the Sixers when the Sixers are supposed to beat them by 100. Now, it's not to say the Sixers won't beat them by 50.
I know what you mean, though.
But in the first half,
yeah.
Fuck, what do I do before we wrap up here? Marshall, tell me.
It's one of those things, like, are they going to actually come out and just blow the doors off these guys from the jump? Are they going to play defense?
Right.
But who's starting? Oh, Dembona.
Fuck, what do I do?
I'm trying to think whether I would just do the Sixers or the game.
I think I'm going to do the game.
Yeah, I feel like I would do the game, man. The Wizards, it's the NBA at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like, they'll score some points. It'll be an up-tempo type of game. Yeah, I do feel that. Wizards are going to have to play fast-paced to score in general. So,
all right, let's do it. 122.5 first half. This first half's going to be like 64-30. It's not even going to fucking sniff it. All right, guys. Thanks for watching while I figured out what I'm betting. If you are new to the channel, make sure to check us out on Twitter at DSM_media. It's where we are most active when we are not on the live stream. If you want to be interactive like our man Martian was doing throughout today's show, like Terry tapped in to say hello earlier on, make sure to check out the YouTube link. It's in our bio on Twitter. So just check out that one. It's the DSM Philadelphia link. Subscribe. Share it with your friends, family, any other sports fans, any other Philadelphia sports fans that you may know that can enjoy the content. We have other content coming out. We have 3 videos already up for Keep 3, Cut 5. We're going to be making more over the coming weeks and posting them there and on our TikTok. So just follow us on all social media platforms if you want to. We appreciate it. For myself, for Scotty, for DSM, enjoy the rest of your night. Go Sixers. Go Fightins. Go Flyers. Bad loss last night against Capitals, but still a chance to make the postseason. Peace out, everybody.